How's it going, everybody? Welcome to TrendSpider Live. My name is Mike, and today we are joined with Scott Redler from T3. How's it going today, Scott?
It's going. It's going. It's
Yeah,
fluid, right? Every day is fluid, and there's things happening, right?
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's definitely a crazy day on the markets today so far. Of course, we are going live today for the big earnings after the bell. You can see on Scott's chart right here, we got Google, biggest name that's reporting today. And we also got ARM and Qualcomm,
Ooh.
QCOM.
Yeah,
So,
yeah. Let me see
yeah,
what
I see.
Qualcomm looks like going in.
Yeah, let's
Oh,
take a look.
Qualcomm's different. See, Qualcomm has been battered, kind of, but again, so is Palantir. Palantir had a great report, good guidance, and they still sold it off. So, if
Yep.
they're in the mood to sell it off, they're in the mood to sell it off. But here's Qualcomm.
Yeah, trading at the lower end of that range. That's like similar kind of line I drew on my chart as well. So yeah, very different story for QCOM compared to Google, which is sitting, above the sitting above its recent EMAs. It's 21, it's 8 EMAs. But yeah, what are you seeing for like Google going into? I know we were talking a little bit beforehand. You're saying you're kind of sitting this one out. Um,
I'm going to sit it out just because, it's kind of priced for perfection. It has to really beat. It's got to guide up. It's got to say some exciting things for this 349 to get taken out. This
yeah,
has been a special name. Obviously, institutions are happy here, whatever they're doing. But I feel like for an option play, it's going to need to be huge to make money. So I'd rather not throw away an option play here. I just don't love this setup. It could work. I'll trade it after. What I usually do is like what we do with Micron. If it is if if it looks like they beat huge and guide up and say some people are buying their chips, whatever it is, maybe we could make a trade through 349 for an after hours trade if it's solid but not like wow,
yeah,
then maybe they'll sell it off fast to like 319 or maybe 296. I probably wouldn't buy 319, but I would look at 296, which probably would be the 100-day ish,
yeah,
and then if they miss, which no one's expecting, and then all of a sudden 264. So what I like to do is pre-print, put the important points on and think in my head, whatever I hear from my news release, from Benzinga, I will try to adjust and maybe trade it or not trade it. Maybe I'll just be like, what, it's the Wild West. I'm going to pass on this one.
yeah,
We've done pretty well in this name, over the course of the last trend. So I'm not really, so enamored with it. And then the same thing, like just say like a Qualcomm, Qualcomm seems like, if and it's not like they're fearing it, it's just that the semis are so weak that if they have a solid report and good guidance, who knows if it's going to be up enough to make money? Because look what Palantir did. Palantir, it was trading, off the highs. Last report was absolutely fantastic, and they sold because it was at the highs. And then this report was actually pretty solid, good guidance, and they
yeah,
still sold it. So
yeah.
it
Same
just
with
feels like,
AMD. Yeah,
yeah,
I
it
don't know if you
feels
saw
like
AMD.
it feels like they're just in the selling mood. So for me, I don't need to throw money away with options because, even though risk is premium paid, unless I'm really like upset if I miss something that I've been trying to catch, yeah, AMD also. Look at this big hole in the chart. This
Yeah.
hole in the chart usually that gets unfilled over a few days, gives you a direction, and then all of a sudden, this will then probably break this, which it held the first kiss, and then it's got another gap to fill down here.
Yeah. Yeah. A
So a lot
couple
of
downside gaps there on AMD, or one to the upside now, but yeah, one's sitting right above it. So that's pretty sketchy, but kind of similar. SMCI also reported they're trading more like QCOM, and they actually got a nice little bump up, which is interesting on super micro there. So maybe we'll
yeah.
see a similar type of thing today with QCOM and Google.
Yeah, well,
Um,
see, now at least with like SMCI, which has been a horrible stock, you could say, hey,
yeah.
you have a pro earnings gap pivot. So 3170. So
Hmm.
3170 is today's low. So if you're a swing trader and you're like, hey, this stock's been battered, it's been bruised, it had good earnings, it's going to start a new strong, active sequence. This could now, you don't need options. This could now be your risk. You're long verse here, and maybe it works towards the 200-day. Maybe it's like reborn. Because if you think about it, I haven't traded this in so long. It's come down a ton,
Yeah.
from 95 down. You would think that, hey, maybe this is the start of something. And if it is going to be the start of something, you have your risk defined now at 3170.
So that's how you play the earnings gaps, huh? You just kind of long and then set your stop right inside the gap itself, or do you go like at the
The,
end of the
the
bottom
low of
end
the
of that?
day. No, the low of
Okay,
the day.
got it. Yeah,
If this is going to be special, it's going to hold this and continue. Same way
yeah,
with Meta. People like Meta's report was fantastic. I'm like, well, put a stop at the low of the gap pivot. If you did, you didn't get hurt because what happened? This was your gap post Meta. So if you thought that this was going to be special and it was going to be awesome post earnings with a good guidance, your stop is right here, and then this didn't happen to you.
Yeah.
So, gaps are important both ways. Same way some people were short Microsoft saying, hey, look at Microsoft. Look at this gap to the downside. I'm going to short versus 442. And usually if it doesn't fill the gap, it trades in the direction of it, and it did. It got below 421, and now it's in the process of filling this old gap. So like, remember this gap here? You could have been a buyer versus that and had a nice swing trade.
Oh, yeah.
So sometimes gaps give you points of reference so you can measure risk both ways. If they get filled fast, it shows you that the gap just meant nothing. It's sometimes an exhaustion gap or something that doesn't mean much.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. There's an interesting energy earnings gap. I think yesterday or today was WWD. I don't know if you saw that one, but it's something that popped up on my radar. Curious to hear your thoughts maybe on this one.
Listen, I don't trade the name, but if you want to use a strategy, you could be a long versus 363. If it holds 363, shorts are trapped, people coming after it. It's fast, it's furious. Maybe it continues after some digestion. If it trades below 363, then you have to be prepared that it could do whatever it wants. It could fill the gap, and this could be considered, it's a big gap up after a long rally. So this is, but look what it did here. So same kind of strategy. Remember this gap right here? You could have been a buyer versus never filled it, and you had yourself a really nice swing trade, Absolutely. So gaps, if you're a swing trader, and you don't even trade for a living, it's even better because you're not watching the minutia. You're just, setting the gap, putting your stop in, and then going about your day, and not looking at the, the little gyrations back and forth.
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, it's popped up. I was just looking through energy names today since energy's breaking now, and this one popped up on my radar. So yeah, great commentary on it there. It's very helpful. And yeah, got a lot of people joining in. If you guys are out there in the chat, go ahead and say what's up. What is up, everybody? What is going on, Mr. J? We're just getting prepared here for Google earnings. I'll probably throw up my screen real quick, Scott, just to take a look at the numbers here with Sidekick going into everything. I threw in a little prompt right here on TrendSpider's Sidekick.
Yeah, let's see what does Sidekick say. What do they say? What's the headline number? Yeah.
So Google. So here's what I asked it. I said, analyze the upcoming earnings announcement. Give me a bull and bear case. Give me the recent news. And then I actually tell it, is it a buy, hold, or sell before earnings? And I like to run a similar prompt after to see if it changes its mind at all. It currently says hold. It says, given earnings are today, obviously it's, speculation, of course. It says the fundamentals look solid with, AI momentum, which is, a little bit iffy right now, but the big market cap wipeout last week shows macro headwinds. Of course, I think he's just talking about the overall software or sector. Analyst upgrades suggest beat expectations, but the antitrust overhang creates binary risk. It says if you're not in, just wait, which I think is makes sense. There's some recent news highlights we got right here. It looks like there is, that DOJ antitrust appeal continues challenging Chrome sale refusal. They're potentially having to sell Chrome, which is a big part of their business. But there was a lot of analyst upgrades, it's saying, which is good, of course. And then, I guess Jim Cramer pulled in, now prefers Gemini over ChatGPT. That's a funny headline, I guess. Google launching AI agents. I mean, Google has been honestly killing it. Obviously, like OpenAI, ChatGPT were like the kind of pioneers of AI, but honestly, Gemini is just absolutely killing it. So it'll be an interesting report today. But expected EPS at 261, expected revenue at 104.8 billion. So we'll see. We'll see what happens there. Let's take a look at the chart. We just kind of did take a look at the chart on Scott's screen. But let's see what I got here. Let me zoom out a little bit. Relative performance still at 96. So it's still outperforming, 96% of the entire S&P 500. Hanging right above this 21-day EMA. So, it's still above support. It still has some decent upside momentum, but as we've seen, stocks like AMD earnings has just not been great lately. The overall market has been pretty bearish. So it's going to be a tough play for them.
It's going to need to be spectacular, like absolutely spectacular for this thing to get above 349 and for it to pay off anybody playing options. And if you're in the stock and you've been enjoying it as a swing, sometimes what it's good to do is, maybe sell some in the money calls, like far down, like go out 3 months, go, sell the 295s, you're probably, I don't know what they're you could sell them for, but you collect like $20 above,
Right.
because you're giving it time. And then if God forbid, or not God forbid, it comes in, then you're still in your stock, you keep the premium, and then you move on to the next quarter if you don't want to like sell it here and pay taxes.
Yeah, no, that makes sense. Like a covered call strategy, right?
Yeah, exactly. Or
Yeah.
sometimes what people do is they'll sell a partial calls, and then they'll buy some puts with it and do a collar around their
Right.
position. So this way, they can protect it a little bit somewhat also.
Yeah. Yeah. Speaking of that, options data, we're working on that, bringing it to TrendSpiders. Hopefully soon we get some nice little tools for options traders out there as well. But yeah, if you guys are enjoying this so far, make sure to like and subscribe. Check out Scott Redler and T3 down in the description below, and check him out. He's live all the time, just like we are, giving out insight just like
That's
this.
why I'm looking to the left, because right now it's 3:55. I have my level 2
Yeah.
here. I have my virtual trading for the alpha here. I have my charts there, and I have
Yeah.
options, and there's a bunch of different chats and a lot going on. So
Yeah.
yeah,
No.
don't mind me as far as
Yeah.
if you see me looking down or looking left or right, you just do your thing.
Oh yeah, all good. I'm doing the same thing. I got my two monitors here. I got some stuff on the left. I got the markets in the front of me. So yeah, same here. But let's take a look at QCOM. Earnings estimate for EPS is 3.15, revenue 12.2 billion. Recent news highlights include multiple analysts downgrading price targets. You guys are on TrendSpider too, by the way. You can click what's happening now at the bottom right here. And you can see all of the analyst estimates right here. So as you can see, the previous price target and then price target currents, they're decreasing 195 to 175 here on ARM. That was a couple weeks ago, end of January. Again, from UBS, Wells Fargo, and Morgan Stanley, all giving lower price targets, but still giving a buy rating, which is kind of interesting. Let's see what else we got here. And it's also saying hold or avoid on QCOM right here. It says coin flip into earnings, already selling off, and bad news. Analyst downgrades is just not looking good. So that's fair assessment here from Sidekick. What else do we see here? Apparently,
By the way,
JP.
this sidekick is pretty crazy. It's like really having a true desk partner.
It's sick, dude. It's
Like
really sick. Like,
the
it's
amount
not
of
just like
information you get on that.
ChatGPT. Like, it has access to all this stuff, analyst upgrades, downgrades, news, fundamentals. They can read your chart. Yeah, it's honestly very, very nice. And yeah, we just dropped a link down below in the chat. We do, use these tools to give you guys free trade ideas every single Sunday for free. Just sign up using the first link down below for our free weekly newsletter. As we come in here to the close, we got 3 minutes. I'll turn on my after hours data, pull up Google and see what's going on. On the 5 minute here, it's been, morning sell off, and it's been really choppy going into close, but maybe we'll get some movement here in a bit. I think, yeah, people are asking when Google numbers come out. It should be 3 minutes after the bell for Google. So that'll be quick.
Yeah.
QCOM's
Just be careful.
right.
Sometimes they do like tac and tac type of earnings, and all of a sudden it fluctuates because the computers don't realize, they think it's a miss, or they think it's a gain, and they don't realize that there's two different ways that Google reports. So I've learned that lesson here and there.
Absolutely. Yeah, it's very, very crazy trading after hours session, especially on earnings. So yeah, always good to be careful. There's going to be there could be a lot of big wicks, moves that the computers are not seeing. Absolutely. 100% agree. But let's see how QCOM is looking going into the close right here. QCOM not looking very hot, kind of selling off near the low of day going into close, and ARM also selling off. So
sometimes it's better, getting people out of the way, a little less priced in.
For sure.
You look at Qualcomm, I guess they're starting to feel a little worried about what happened with Palantir. It also came in a lot, and this was the high, this was the other high. So you're talking about down here. All this needs to do is just kind of be better than feared, and you would think you'd get a pop, but look at all the resistance above. It's just 165 would be really hard for it to get through if you look at the daily chart.
Yeah.
I have my charts. Although here, go to my charts for a second, real quick. You can see all the moving averages right there. Like this, will be a brick wall. I remember with Palantir, I told everyone, don't be a buyer. See how it handles 165. And look at that.
Yeah.
165 was fully sold on that day, right afterwards.
Right
you didn't have to short it, or play puts. You could have shorted it the day after, you know, right into here, the 165-ish area. It didn't even get to there and then broke down today. So
Yeah,
sometimes you don't need options into earnings if you don't love the setup, because it's really hard. You need to be like really right to make money with options. You know,
absolutely. Yeah.
but
So
then also you don't want to take stock because risk is premium paid unless you see the print, you know what you're doing, and you're fast after hours.
yep. Yeah, 100%. Yeah, because even if you pick the move right, with options, you know, you still got that whole volatility aspect that you're trading, whether you like it or not, no matter where the price goes. So, yeah, let's see.
Exactly. I
Market
don't know.
just closed.
I'm gonna turn on my news squawk from Vincing a little louder
Sounds good.
so we could hear it.
Yeah. Make sure turn on your after hours data too at the top there, so you can see this this
Oh,
movement.
something happened with I think Qualcomm's out.
Here, I'll stick
Let's see.
stick mine on for a second. You said QCOM is out. Let's take a look.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, QCOM, nice move to the downside so far.
Nice move if you're playing it to go down.
Let's see. Yeah,
guys,
had
guys
almost like a
below
double
estimate.
bottom. That's that same line that you drew on your try around, like that 144 level will be pretty key here.
Let's see. You can go. Yeah, I have to see.
Here we go. EPS beat, sales beat. I'm seeing $3.50 beating $3.40 estimate. Sales at 12.25 billion, beating 12.18 billion estimate for QCOM. Let me see what Sidekick was saying. We just had
I
that.
don't know. So far, it looks like it's just getting pressured. You know, that recent low was a 144. It's right now below it.
Yep.
So
Yeah,
if it stays
exactly.
below it, there's really not much there until like then you have, I guess, 135-ish, which is a little support.
Range in there, yeah.
Yeah, no need to. Just gonna give the semi some pressure tomorrow. Still up Google.
Is Google moving?
Yeah, a little bit.
Oh yeah. Nice move up on Google.
Well, we'll see.
Numbers should be out any second.
Yeah.
I don't know if this was before the numbers came out. Yeah, it's
Oh,
completely reversed that move.
yeah. Look at that. It's.
If you guys are out there in the chat, if you guys are playing any of these, you know, Google, ARM, or QCOM, let us know down in the chat below what you guys are in,
Yeah.
what you guys are watching. Google, not looking great.
Not looking great at all. Google at 319. Where is it now? That was like one level. It's already went to 321. So 319 is near the 50-day. The 50-day EMA is 317-ish. That would be a spot.
Yeah. Here we go. Numbers for Google: 2.82 EPS, beating the 2.63 estimate. Sales at 113.82 billion, beating 111. So it's a double beat, of course. Most people probably expected a double beat on Google.
They're just in the selling mood.
As we said before, you know, this earnings have been getting sold no matter what happens. So double beat and straight down. Man, not looking good. Down about 5% and continuing. Let's see, is anything going on with ARM? Wow, ARM also selling off.
Wow.
Looking really bad across the board here. I don't think ARM is out. I think it's just reacting against QCOM and Google. And it looks like, bad forward guidance for QCOM. They're seeing EPS of like a midpoint of like 2.5 versus the 2.88 estimate for EPS, and also lower revenue guidance. And yeah, QCOM breaking below that at 144 level and not looking super hot. Google, you can see just on the daily chart here with after hours movement priced in, just broke that key 21-day EMA and is just, yeah, it's not much you can do about that. Momentum is mostly gone. Google services revenue up 14%. I'm seeing here Google Cloud revenues up 48%, looking phenomenal. Still not helping the stock price. Someone said ARM double beat. I'm not seeing ARM numbers yet, but either way, stock is selling off. I mean, ARM looking surprisingly really bad here on the daily. Very choppy for ARM. It's just, the revenue growth
296 is your next real spot for now. There's really nothing in Google until 296.
Yeah, it's a hard one. Yeah, tough market, and specifically, these names right now. See if Google can catch any sort of bid here. Oh, yeah, but let's see if we can prompt. You got anything on your chart over there, Scott?
No, for Google, Google's below the 50-day, and it's not near the 100-day. It's in no man's land. There's a little something at 309. Now it's coming right back up. So now you have 308.
Yeah.
I'm watching the level 2. I didn't buy it there. So now you have 308. So if you were looking if you were trying to look at a little bit of an after hours chart, which is what I have here.
Yeah.
It can go 2 hours and so this is your low. It's not really much of a low. And now see how much it takes back. So I actually came back.
Yeah, it's inching back up. They're actually doing pretty well.
Well, it's MSOS. I don't know why that was strong today, but we're not going to talk about that. Yeah. So Google's back above. Wow. So Google took back that 50-day fast. Interesting.
Yeah.
I wouldn't fade it, but I'm sure there's some people saying, wow, probably doesn't get back above, 332.
Someone said Broadcom is moving up. It's AVGO is moving up. Interesting enough. AVGO, yeah, on the daily made a pretty crazy or a new low today, and it's liking this earnings from somebody. I don't know, from Google or maybe QCOM or something like that. It's interesting, yeah. Not seeing anything on the news feed yet, but I'm sure there's something going on with AVGO as well. Google all the way back up, pretty much back to where it closed. So that was a 5% move right back up. Someone saying Google CapEx spend affecting AVGO and NVIDIA. How's NVIDIA looking? Let's take a look here. NVIDIA's doing okay. Let's take a look at AMD. AMD's not doing a whole lot. Intel. Interesting.
Avago had a big move off that. Yeah.
I'll throw up my AVGO chart real quick. I had a line drawn here. Yeah, it's kind of like a support area here on Broadcom on the daily that I was looking at. Sunk below it today, and it looks like it wants to reclaim it there around 322, 323-ish, which is interesting. Not really in this name myself. Trading below its EMAs, but interesting move there. Google's
still working it. There's a lot of money behind Google, so they're not gonna want to kill it and save it. That would have been a great after hours trade. Now it's coming up, and wow.
Whew. Might have just erased all of that.
Yeah.
All that loss there in the after hours session. But yeah, they had a great report, everybody. I'll use see if I can use Sidekick here to go ahead and analyze it for us. So we can see exactly what's going on. But of course, there's a double beat.
Look at that. Geez, 349 is this next spot. I'm just not saying you can buy it through 349 now after where it came from, but
wow. Yeah, I mean, we've seen Google move, about $34 here in just the last few minutes.
That's why people love after hours. Sometimes you could friggin' make as much money in a day in 4 minutes, but you could also lose it.
Absolutely insane moves. Yeah, if you bought the dip there on this this Google drop, risky move, but would have paid off. Let's see. So here's the Google numbers.
Now let's see where it holds.
So 2.82 beating year over year and the estimate by quite a bit, 31% or so. Revenue beating 18%. Beautiful looking report. Forward guidance, 92 billion or so for CapEx, raised from 85 billion. So more CapEx spend. Yeah, so a significant increase, of course. We'll see what they have to say during the earnings call, most likely. Let's see what else we got.
Snap. Let's see what this disaster is.
Yeah.
Or not.
Psychic says buy now after that.
What, Snap or Google?
No, Google. I just like to see what it says before and after earnings. Always kind of funny. And then let's see. We can do the same.
If Google hangs here for a little bit, maybe there'll be a buy for again when it goes green.
Yeah. Let's move this over here a little bit and do the same prompt for.
Don't buy Snap because it beat, because they usually lambast. What's it called? Guidance unless.
Oh, Snap. Yeah, looking decent.
Nah, it's decent. It's $1.50 compared to where this thing was from.
Yeah. And dollar on this, $5-6 stock. How much is this? Up, 6%.
I know. I'm just kidding. Just
yeah.
Never count your chickens with it. They'll come out with the guidance, so they'll guide conservatively, then it'll be $4. So
yeah, right.
I'm not saying it's gonna. Don't short it for that, but I'm just saying.
Yeah,
it's a typical thing there for Snap.
Absolutely.
Just amazing because I have a 17-year-old boy and he's on it so much.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I didn't know Snap. I thought Snap was kind of falling off. I guess not.
Not really.
No.
Everyone snaps each other and.
Yeah.
All right. Google's coming back in a little bit.
Let's go back here. Google.
Yeah. Vago. What's NVIDIA doing on the CapEx? Is it going up a little bit?
I think, let's see, NVIDIA. Yeah, it's actually starting to move up, but I think, what was it? Broadcom is seeing the most gains out of anything right now based on this news, up 6% in the after-hours session for Broadcom. I believe it's because, for people asking, the AVGO news should be from this Google CapEx spend increase, from what it sounds like.
Yeah, Google's doing all. If you look at the day chart of Google, by the way, you just take a look at it.
Yeah.
So now, it's coming in a little bit. If this was any good, you would think if you're trading it actively, like really actively, it should hold like right around here.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a crucial level right there. If you turn off the after-hours session data, you can see this pivot at 328.83. Also, just sitting right below the 21-day EMA. That's why I have it marked on my chart. So far, it's back above 331 now.
Yeah, it's thin. I don't know if they're rewarding, what's it called, CapEx lifts, but we'll see.
Yeah. Someone said Micron is potentially up a little bit here on the news as well. Let's take a look. Yeah, bad day for memory stocks, though.
Yeah.
Yeah, Micron up a little bit. Let's just check out SanDisk. SanDisk not doing a whole lot. Let's go back to Google here because this is the most interesting. Yeah, right back above that key level here. Let's see what QCOM is up to, because I prompted Sidekick for it. QCOM still down, not a recovery like it had on Google.
I just bought a little Google there, 332, to see if it seems like it's starting to get a little bit better. Just a little.
Yeah. QCOM, pretty good results here, as we can see on the charts that Sidekick made. EPS guidance down, though. EPS and revenue guidance down for QCOM. So not very good. Sidekick giving QCOM a sell rating based on that. If you guys are just tuning in, welcome. Make sure you guys hit the like button and subscribe if you haven't already. If you guys are enjoying this live stream, if you watch Google here, I mean, put on the 1 minute is for fun here. Yeah, pretty crazy movement.
If you're kind of long after hours, you have to give it to like 328. Breaks 328, that last little tail. Yeah, just definitely get out.
Yeah, someone Saying throw a VWAP on the announcement candle. There you go. Sitting below the price at around 325.79.
Yeah, I'm not giving it to that. Yeah, companies, right lately they don't like capex raises. Maybe some of the semis will, but not the.
Yeah, it's been scaring a lot of people for sure. The kind of general consensus is, they're spending a lot of money right now, and
but you know what? Facebook friggin' said they're not raising the spend, and they had great guidance, and they still went down 50 points after the numbers. So
yeah. Let's see, QCOM. Let's see how ARM is doing. ARM retracing back to the upside a little bit here as well. He's looking pretty good. Well, it's still down, 4.89%, down 14% at the lowest on ARM. That was kind of a crazy move.
See, look at Snap now. It's red. Told you that you can't get
back
excited.
Down.
Yeah, it's such a piece of junk. I don't know what they're going to say there.
Let's see.
They need to say that they're getting taken over.
What else we got reporting today? We got ARM. We got Wolf, Snap, Elf. Elf is an interesting one. Elf Beauty. Elf is up in the after-hours session today on their earnings. Up 16% on Elf. Haven't really looked at this there. Wow. Interesting chart here, but Elf, I am seeing raising EPS guidance, raising sales guidance. Nice. EPS massive beat for Elf on EPS, 1.24 beating the 72-cent estimate, and sales beating by about $30 million, and they are looking good.
Oh, look at the chart at Google, how it rolled over right there.
Let's see.
They go.
Oh, yeah, right back below that level at 328.83.
Yeah, you can kind of see this. Yeah, that chart looks good. Kind of same thing here as my magic chart, but
let's see. Here, I'll throw you up real quick. What do you got
here? It's hard to see them. Yeah, because now yours actually shows more data. But anyway.
Yeah.
Oh well, it was worth a try there.
Yeah, let's see. Someone's talking about BE earnings. BE, is they reporting Bloom Energy? They're reporting, I think, tomorrow. Yeah, they report tomorrow. It's an interesting name in the energy sector. It's actually been on my radar. It's sitting at this pivot level right here. So this will be a good one to watch out for tomorrow. Definitely.
It's funny. Yeah, I did the same thing. The line.
Now, someone said COHR. What is this one? Yeah, COHR down. It was trending really nicely out of this consolidation range, and it looks like whatever their earnings. We're seeing a double beat for COHR here, and looks like the guidance is just about in line, maybe a little bit up, but either way, the stock is not loving it at all. Gave back all of its gains to hit back to this low, this pivot level right here, all the way back from like November. So gave up quite a bit of gains today for COHR, down like 30%. Wow. And Google is just tiptoeing around this line right here. Yeah. I think the Google earnings call actually starts in just about 12 minutes.
4:30.
Yeah. So you might go and stick that on. That's a little bit earlier than normal, but
now you can make the range a little wider now. It's like it's getting looser and wider. So it was tight, and now you put your line below where the recent low was. So if you gave it to that and didn't stop out, you could make that line that you have there and just bring it down to below the recent low double bottom there. So I would
this one right here.
Yeah, because so now it's just a bigger range, from the low to the high to there. Now you can be long versus that if you kept it on that 325. Still, why don't you punch up the Fibonacci from the low to that high and see what it just pulled in?
You can take a look. Let's see. Let me grab my fib tool over here. What do you think? From like up here to down, all the way down here. That was about a 50% retracement, or that double bottom kind of 325.45.
Not horrible.
Yeah. Yeah, pretty solid level right there, actually, if you drew that fib earlier.
Let me see. I want to try and draw the fib myself here, because I sometimes have a hard time with the fibs.
Yeah,
Let's
they can
see.
be interesting. But TrendSpider is nice for drawing fibs because it automatically snaps it onto the right price, which I really like. Someone asking about ARM, we'll take a look at ARM. We'll do the same thing. We'll draw some fibs to this high, to this low, I believe, right there. Yeah, again, about a 50% retracement back up, actually at the 38.2, right at 100 was the psychological level. But let me do a quick prompt in Sidekick for the ARM earnings to see what Sidekick has to say.
Okay, Sidekick is going to put some sales traders out of business. I'll tell you that much.
Yeah, right.
Really, seriously. Obviously, people like it's your sales kicks your side. It's your sales trader. I would think that buy side funds could have like just a desk guy reading them what Sidekick's saying. It's taking the
honestly,
much more data and crunching it a lot faster.
Yeah, it's really kind of crazy, huh? You give
NVIDIA.
AI access to all this like actual data, that's where it becomes really, really powerful. And that's exactly what Sidekick is, because like ChatGPT, they don't have access to all this stuff. Like they have access to the internet, which kind of works, but not really.
They don't have access to your moving averages, to your to the. It's like a little.
Let's see.
Yeah, so I'm not really that active. I don't have much going on for this earnings. Tomorrow's my bigger day. I have a lot. I put on Amazon for earnings and Google. I didn't buy that dip, and I don't know what it's going to do after the conference call. Could really do whatever it wants. If it were to get above, now it's trending back lower. I personally think, like, psychologically, like, the Vago went up and the video went up, but the street doesn't want money spends right now because it seems as if they're not monetizing it. So whereas you would spend that last quarter or two and you would get rewarded, now they're spending it, so it's not really that exciting. I don't know if it falls apart, but might be just a day to look at it tomorrow.
Yeah, true. Here's for those asking the ARM earnings, we see a 43-cent EPS versus the 41-cent estimate. So they had a double beat. Again, revenue beat as well. Guidance up slightly for both EPS and revenue, which is good. Overall, good. Psychic still giving ARM a hold rating. It says strong execution with beats on EPS and revenue, AI tailwinds, but it says the valuation stretched after the recent run up, which is interesting. Forward guidance only modestly above estimates. And analyst downgrade signal caution. So it's saying wait for pullback or clear margin expansion before adding onto ARM, is what Sidekick is saying, at least. I mean, hard to trade ARM, honestly, on this chart. It's been really just choppy ever since,
so
basically
hard.
forever.
Yeah. I don't remember the last time I had a really good trade in ARM.
Yeah. Maybe like a good buy and hold, but for those asking, Sidekick AI is TrendSpider's AI. It's TrendSpider. I'll give you guys a link to the platform down below. I'll give you guys a link to the Sidekick page so you guys can check it out.
So far, what was the low? 322.
You guys can get a trial of the platform today for as low as $19 right now. And there's the link for Sidekick down below in the chat for you guys that want to check it out. Let's go back here to the 5 on Google. Yeah, just sitting kind of pretty, a little bit down, kind of some crazy price movements, but yeah, overall, honestly, pretty flat. It looks like the option sellers are going to be the winners here for those trading options with Google.
That's why I didn't feel like it was a great setup up there. Like, even if it went up $15, it still would have been hard unless you had a really perfect call spread. But then you had to be in the call spread until Friday or whatever your date is and let them just max it out on you.
Yep. They are going to be bringing in those 0DTE options, I think, for a lot of the Max 7 and whatnot. So that should be kind of fun too.
Yeah. Then they're just going to control price even more.
I know. Yeah.
but it's fine. You know, you could find out where the best open interests are. You know, where they want it to go, so it could be a zero above and below, so they can keep all the selling. You know, all the selling vol.
Yeah.
That actually look at that's a pretty nice little right there. Look at that wedge, perfect for Google right there. That's a cool little fib that you drew.
Yeah, sitting
Yeah,
testing
it's
the
trying to get back
38.2.
above it.
Testing that 38.2. I'll just draw this line right
It's
there.
probably gonna wait now till the conference call at 4:30.
Yep,
You would
only
think.
about 5 minutes to go. Coming up quick. Let's see. What else was trading? We saw ELF. Was there anything else we missed that you guys are seeing out there in the chat? Let us know. We saw COHR. I'm seeing Wolf. Isn't Wolf? What is Wolf? Wolf Speed. Seems like kind of a small name. Not sure much about that one personally. What else we got here? SYM sounds symbiotic. Symbiotic stock trading up on this earnings. Nice revenue growth you can see here on the TrendSpider platform on the reports tab. Pretty decent move up for SYM. Their guidance on revenue was up. What else we got here? EPS missed and sales beat, but didn't stop them from moving up over, 14% at the peak, 24% for SYM. Crazy move. Crazy move. What else? Saw ARM, saw Wolf. Was this O'Reilly? Retail? O'Reilly Automotive down. How has retail been doing lately? Let's pull up XRT. XRT has not been doing too bad. Was up today, but O'Reilly down pretty good here on earnings.
Yeah, the XRT chart's pretty nice.
Yeah. Let's take a look here on the weekly or something. Yeah, it's trying to push to potentially new all-time highs there. How did XLE close on the day? XLE is, breaking out to new all-time highs lately. Definitely a sector to keep an eye on.
Yeah, look at I drew this on the weekly chart. If you want to go back to mine,
yeah,
I did some work on it going into the new year, saying, look at this cup and handle, pretty much 10-year consolidation.
Crazy.
Broke up above 47 was a buy, 49 was a buy, and then there you go. I just got rid of my options on Monday. Did pretty well with it. Now I got to figure out how to re-engage.
Hell yeah.
Look at like CVX on the weekly looks really good too. Look at that. Broke the 160, came right up to here. That's a nice move. That probably continues more. And XOM has just been the
XOM. Yeah, I was just about to say. Very nice. People are comparing it to the gold move because gold had a similar, like 10-year plus cup and handle pattern there. And people are saying that could be what energy's setting up to do. Who knows though?
That's why I got to get back in. I can't just be like, oh, you know what? Because I did that with silver. Look at the silver for a second. So silver, I had a really, I had a really good trade here, where the setup was, right here, if you remember silver, right there when I was consolidating, got above 49. I was buying the 49 calls. I actually had a few friends telling me that China was short, this, that, and we bought the 49s, went quickly to 54, rolled them up to like the 55s, and I think I was done with silver here. So I had two really nice trades in silver, and then obviously it did a lot more. And then we made some good money on the short side. When it opened up above this and it looked like gold was stretched, I bought some gold puts and some ZSL and caught that move pretty well. And now it's kind of just rebuilding here.
You caught that short, man. That 30% day on SLV. I'm sure it was a great day if you're a short silver.
I bought the ZSL. I didn't, I was in 165. So this is what I bought a 165 at my highest sell was 240 and then 265, which was a good percentage trade. But then I did really well on the gold puts. The gold puts where that that made me some decent money.
There you go.
Anyway, just goes to show you, don't go with the ultras because they're fucking. Excuse my French. They're built to go to zero.
Yeah, anyway. Literally. And
then we do then do another reverse split and be built to go to zero again. All right, Google's starting to trade above that little spot.
Nice. Yeah, not looking too bad here. The earnings call starts in a minute. People keep asking about Amazon earnings tomorrow. Scott, I know you're
I'm in some calls for Amazon. So yeah, you know what? I'm in it. I'm not sure. I have no color on it. I just feel like, again, Amazon is one that didn't go. You have this right here. This is exactly where it was a year ago after 4 stellar reports. Another one below it. So I feel like I would be upset if all of a sudden this is enough for this to break it out, even though we're not in the market for that. So I have some 255 calls for Friday and then some 260 for next week. I'm risking what I'm prepared to lose if it's a nothing. Then I'll trade it after, or I just won't trade Amazon anymore because it's that hard lately. But I did take Amazon calls, so buy a lot of people. Oh my God, somebody knows. I'm like, no, well, sometimes that happens pre-earnings, and at least you're buying the options cheaper. So if it does deliver and it responds well, you're buying options for cheaper than if it was hanging over here and then did it. So sometimes it's a blessing when it goes down, or not, but actually it is, because you're paying less anyway. If it doesn't work, you're paying less. If it works, you're paying less. It just has more to go up. But again, the trade is for it to take out 249 and then 258 if it's going to be one of those big trades. But I guess we'll see.
Would be nice. Hopefully we see that, because Amazon, it's a little different from these other Mag 7 companies. It's not super tied into AI like Google and some of the semis. So yeah, could be an interesting one. Hopefully.
Probably look at Google now. Google
nice.
just
Google's doing pretty damn good for for this earnings season.
Yeah, just cleared. Just cleared that level again. Your chart was even cleaner, but held here. Now it's going. Goes to show you 10 minutes later the trade changes.
Yeah. That's the thing about day trading, right? It's changing on the fly. You got to
go back to it. Like here, I bought it. I was too tight, got out, and then I should have bought it back versus this, and instead I'm talking to you. No,
yeah. I'll throw me up there and go and do your thing. Here, look at sitting at the 23.6 level here.
Yeah, but that was a nice retracement. If you drew your retracements on your chart and then right here bought, never pulled back and went again. And now here's your next level, and then here's back to the highs of that move.
Yeah, someone asked me to draw this anchored VWAP on the announcement candle, which I did, and almost kind of lined up at the 50% retracement there. So, buying that 50% retracement would have been pretty good. Lined up at the anchored VWAP. Pretty nice. Let's see. People asking, when is the ARM call? I don't know. Let's see. ARM is...
By the way, what's Apple doing afterwards? Apple.
Let's see. Apple.
Down a little bit. Apple's been a great trade since earnings. That was probably my best trade since Friday in Magland.
Nice. Oh yeah. Apple's been silent killer over here, actually. I haven't really looked at Apple. I don't really trade Apple myself a whole lot, but yeah.
I traded a lot.
Days.
I'll quickly talk you through it, and then I have to go do my recap. So basically, if you go to my chart, look, you had a red dog reversal top. It's been under pressure since out of play, and then it held the 200-day. Had a small bounce right here. This was post earnings. So the way you could do a post earnings wasn't a gap because they played with it. You could have been a long swing trade versus 252, which was the post earnings low. And then I remember on Monday I was long and I bought a dip, added here, trim some. Oh, there it goes, trim some. And then look at it now. So this I got rid of it today. I'm out of my long in Apple today. Nice 40 move, nice 40 sequence. Anyway, so
nice. Yeah, very nice trade.
It probably takes out the all-time high, but we'll see when. Now here goes Google going green.
Oh yeah,
that might help Amazon for me tomorrow. I'm actually buying a little Amazon after hours down.
Okay.
Just because now if Google goes and the futures go, why wouldn't Amazon be up a little bit tomorrow? But we'll see. You guys, if the Alpha team, if you want to see, you should have went to the link in alerts that the admin put there, 339. That's where myself and my friend Michael have been. Yeah. Anyway, all right, guys. So I got to jump. Let's definitely do this again. We'll put another time on the calendar.
Yeah,
look at this now. Wow.
Cool. Thanks so much for coming on, Scott. We'll see you next time.
Yes, appreciate you. I'll see you soon.
Yeah, see you. All right. Wow, Google breaking above. Look at this. Google is breaking up above 342.90 now. Look at that, you guys. Pretty insane move there. See, Google dropped 7%, and now we're up about 4%. And Rock, I did see your comment about your new indicator. Let me see if I can take a look at that while we wait to see for these earnings calls. curious out for you guys out there in the chat, which earnings call do y'all want to hear? I think Google has already started about 4 minutes ago. That's a little bit early though, so I haven't put it on yet. Let me take a look at the ARM call, see when that's going to be here. ARM at 2 p.m. So, you got about 25 minutes, and Google is just flying, you guys. Maybe I'll go ahead and make Google Live real quick. Let's see. I don't know if it's on yet.
Development platform
they're up.
Can autonomously plan and execute complex software tasks. It already has more than 1.5 million weekly active users after launching just over 2 months ago.
I'll turn on that audio in a second there, but we'll stick it up right over there.
10 billion tokens per minute.
But yeah, you guys, just a quick reminder, you guys can sign up to get free trading ideas sent right to your guys' inbox every single Sunday using the link down below in the chat. It's our free weekly newsletter that we put together here at TrendSpider. Yes, ARM does have a conference call, by the way, at 2 p.m. Pacific time. So in about 25 minutes. What else are you guys looking at? If you guys are out there in the chat, let me know what you guys are seeing. If you have any questions about the platform or what's going on in the market right now, can go ahead and answer that for you guys. Yeah, QCOM down pretty good. Let's take a look at what else we got here. ARM is testing this this 61.8% level, this fib level right there. I'm curious what you guys are looking at in the chat. Let's take a look how QQQ is holding up in the after hour session. QQQ is up pretty nice there. Google solid though. Solid move. Did want to show you guys my stock market map as well to show you guys where the money was flowing today specifically. So week to date, silver is in the lead, up 8% so far, followed by energy, XLB, which is materials, but I think energy is definitely the theme lately, and then gold is back up, and consumer staples. And at the bottom of the list for the week to date changes, we're seeing tech, XLK, and semiconductors, SMH, losing on the week so far, week to date. So definitely keep an eye on XLE. People are asking about metals right now. I'll take a look at SLV. Yeah, SLV did have a bounce. Interesting enough, 3 red candles though. Let's see, 1, 2. I mean, yeah, 3 red candles on the daily chart, which means it closed lower than it opened there. Did bounce up. The price been moving up, but funny that it's still 3 red candles. So pretty crazy price movement on SLV. Let's check out GLD. Gold looking pretty good, actually. Had a gap up yesterday. So metals are actually hanging in there after that massive dip. Let me get on my other chart here of Google. And take a look at what is going on in the markets today. What's the big movers? Wow, we have Lumen, LUMN down 20%. We got AMD down 15%, Iron down 15%. A lot of these big names here on StockTwits, you guys, taking a beating today. ENPH, wow, up 38% on the day. ELF is now hitting the top watch stocks on StockTwits. Automatically updated list here on TrendSpider. SMCI up 14% on the day. Light up 12%. If you guys haven't seen Light, this is a great breakout play from this level right here on earnings. So we turn this off. There actually is no earnings gap, but it was earnings that caused the breakout here, which is pretty good. I'm curious if you guys are out there in the chat. Let me know. Do you guys want to hear this Google earnings call, or too boring for you guys? Let me know what you guys are interested in seeing If you haven't already, make sure to hit the like button and subscribe. But yeah, the Google call is live right now. Thoughts on ARM? My thoughts on ARM is that I don't see any play personally on ARM at all. It's not really on my radar. Like, I guess you could just buy it and hold it. You know, it's trading at the lower end of its range here, but this stock really has not done really anything since inception here. Show more, yeah, BLI4N. If you have anything in mind, would love to take a look at what you are seeing. Covered a lot today so far. You know, we've covered obviously Google. The earnings call is currently live. You know, QCOM. Wow, if you have oh yeah, nice. Mark owns 400 shares of Google, but only bought 10 initially back in 2005. Weighted diamond hand at Google since 2005. Pretty insane. 2005, you're buying, yeah, in today's terms, like $4 or $5 a share. Oh, MicroStrategy. Let's take a look at MSTR. Man, that looks disgusting. Crypto. For first, let's take a look at Bitcoin, because MicroStrategy is very obviously highly tied to Bitcoin here, and there's a clear level on Bitcoin. Basically, the line on my chart, and then you can draw a line in this little consolidation range or base, if you will, right here. Starts at 74,000, give or take. We're trading just right under that line. So definitely, if you are a bull in the crypto space, you're holding Bitcoin or whatever other cryptos you're in, you're definitely going to want to see this hold, which it's currently not, but it could easily snap back up. Would not surprise me at all. But if we don't, maybe we'll get stuck in that range there. It's happening with Google. How can it still be going down, says somebody. I mean, let me take a look. What do you mean still going down? Let's take a look. Google is actually up right now. I mean, absolutely insane chart here, if you ask me, on Google. Well, I mean, this wick right here is, of course, just an earnings wick. Nothing that real, quote unquote. You might have been able to get a fill there and trade it potentially. You probably could have. Actually, there's a few yeah, you definitely could have got a fill there. Yeah, I mean, Google was initially breaking under this 21-day SMA, and the line I had drawn right here, this previous pivot level at let me remove these fibs for now. What was this? It was at 328.83. And now it's sitting right back above it. If we turn on the after hours, it held the key level. So honestly, Google bulls, you're probably fine for now. Fine for now. Yeah, guys, if you're new to TrendSpider, the What's Happening Now tab at the bottom is pretty useful stuff, I would say, you guys. There's a lot of good things that you guys can sort through down here. Some of the newer stuff, we got, upcoming splits, pretty nice. You got CNBC recommendations, news featuring FDA, if you're, like a biotech trader or whatever, recent earnings, analyst estimates, insiders selling all that they had. A lot of cool stuff. I wonder if there's anything in here. Don't always explore all these to their fullest potential. This is a cool filter, though. This is earnings or insiders selling everything that they have. APLT looks like insiders are selling out completely. CLS back in February 2nd. Let's take a look at APLT right here. Applied Therapeutics. Yeah, this looks like some pump and dump. CLS is interesting. I've seen this one, and looks like the COO sold everything that they had in CLS just 2 days ago. Yeah, Rimcow, that's probably very true. Snapping up those stop losses, absolutely. are asking about Novo Nordisk. Let's take a look here at NVO. NVO, wow. Honestly, a brutal sell-off down here. Yeah, I mean, it's definitely a bottom fishing type of play, which is not really something that I personally like to do, but honestly, like, let's ask Sidekick what it thinks. Or ask Karen, what do you think of NVO stock? Give me the recent news, a bull and bear case, and a rating of buy, hold, or sell based on fundamentals and technicals. Yeah, what's the bottom is hard to give an answer on. But if it's not here, then it's definitely not looking good is what I'll say. I mean, look at this. It's like a Christmas tree pattern. Good old Christmas tree pattern. We had something drawn on a symbol on our team account. I forget which stock it was, but it was pretty funny. But let's see what Sidekick has to say about that. For Novo Nordisk, of course, selling off, looking like it's going to zero. We got LLY. Look at LLY, you guys. Honestly, a beautiful looking chart right now. Basing up right there on the weekly. Broke out of this downtrend and is forming a nice little consolidation range right there. Let's see. Go back to NVO. Let's take a look at HIMS. Oof. HIMS looking terrible. HIMS has got earnings on February 23rd. So yeah, again, another name that if it doesn't bounce pretty soon here, it's looking pretty terrible. All right, recent news for NVO. Apparently it's a disaster. According to Karen, just reported Q4 earnings today. Did it report? Did I miss? Oh no, let's go up to NVO right here. Oh yeah, NVO. I didn't even realize they report earnings today. Let's see how the earnings were. Let's take a look here. Oh, it's pre-market. That's why. Let's see. So Novo Nordisk, double beat on earnings and for NVO. But the reason why they're down is because they guided 2026 sales to decline 5 to 13% at the current exchange rates. So that's the reason why LLY or NVO is down. Meanwhile, LLY reported strong earnings and is pulling ahead. So pretty bad there on NVO. Rating is sell according to Sidekick here, based on fundamentals and technicals. But again, take all of this with a grain of salt. It is just Sidekick AI, which is very smart, but still an LLM, but it does take a lot into account. I will not personally be playing this, but yeah, hard to say when the bottom will be on there. So I can drop further into the 40s range. Let's see. If I was you guys, I mean, what I'm personally looking into right now, you guys, is energy stocks and I believe industrials. We get XLI. What you guys want to do is, I mean, for me at least, what I like to do is find the leaders, find what sectors are being rotated into now, which currently happens to be XLI and XLE, both making new highs on the day and the week. XLE new all-time highs. Showed you guys my stock market map earlier, which is right here. We'll look at the left-hand side for now, but we can look at what is changing over the last week and 30 days. Of course, we see over the last 30 days, stuff to the right side of this chart on the left. We see XLE and staples actually pulling ahead XLP. Let's take a look at consumer staples on the weekly. Looks okay. Yeah, actually, consumer staples breaking out along with energy, and then industrials is starting to play some catch up. So now that we know that XLE and XLI is where kind of the money is starting to flow right now, there's a lot of things you can do on TrendSpider to go ahead and figure out what is driving those names. The best thing that you guys should do is take a look at the market scanner and find which stocks are leading the energy sector. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to type in the market scanner, find stocks with relative performance greater. I can just do greater than sign, greater than 90. We'll start here with a very basic and easy yet effective metric in the scanner, which is relative performance. And then what you're going to do is you're going to change the stocks or the stock list to the energy sector. You can see right here, energy, 194 symbols in this one. XLE only has 22. We can take a look at XLE first just to see. Strongest names based on relative performance in XLE are SLB and HAL, but we can find a lot more in just the overall energy list, which is constantly updated here on the TrendSpider platform. Another thing you guys can do is use the Minervini trend template candles indicator. Might have already had this up, actually, no. And Minervini's trend template is very useful because it actually has relative performance built into it, searching for relative performance greater than 70. And then it's searching for price to be greater than these EMAs and SMAs, or just SMAs, within range of its 52-week high and a rising 200 SMA. And if it meets all those criteria, then it'll paint the candles cyan. And so what we can do instead of this is just go ahead and use the Minervini scanner. So I was typing Minervini here that we built. Minervini trend template perfect score. And this is just searching for all these things to be checked yes. So we'll go to the energy list and press scan. If you guys are interested in using this Minervini trend template setup, I'll put a link to it in the chat right now. It's under the Minervini collection. And this is what we got. POWL is one that stuck out to me. I'll go ahead and hide this table in a second, along with all these MAs, because since it colors the candles, all you need to see is if the candles are cyan or not, and all of them will be since they're in this scan result. So basically what we've done, you guys, we've scanned for momentum in the entire energy sector, and this is what we came up with. And as you can see, there's still a pretty big list of names here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add some conditions to this. Maybe I'll add a condition group with fundamentals, where the earnings per share is greater than a constant value of 0, just so we only see profitable companies now. This will nail the list down just a little bit more. And yeah, we still seen Powell, DVN. You get all these breakouts, you guys. DVN right here. You can see it on the weekly, looking pretty good. A lot of decent upside potential right there on DVN. PSX, another nice breakout to the upside. This is Phillips 66, actually a pretty good looking name right there. And you can just keep making these conditions. I'm also going to add a daily chats rating greater than constant value of 80. The sector scan you showed before, I'm still scanning the sector right now, actually. All you have to do is open the market scanner here on the TrendSpider platform, and then you can just change the search in, and you type energy or whatever sector you want, and then you pick it right there, and then whatever criteria you add here in the scanner is going to show up right here. So we're just going to keep making these more strict and more strict until we get like a pretty small list of stocks. Here we go. This might do it. Still a decent amount. So right now we're looking for Minervini's trend template criteria to all be active. We're looking for a price to earnings ratio greater than 0. So basically profitable companies. We're looking for the chats index to be greater than 90, which shows absolute strength. What else can we even do here, you guys? We can just make this 95. We can make, what else can we throw in here into our market scanner? There's so much different things we can do. We can do, no, not that one. So before you got to this market scanner, I think you looked at a different UI that made you, oh yeah, the stock market map. So the stock market map you can access at the bottom right here. Yeah, I'll take a look at CRWV. Just give me 1 second, but this is a stock market map. And what I did was I added a list of symbols with all of these sector ETFs. Then for the horizontal axis, I did 30-day calendar change percent and a vertical axis of the year change percent, which is the left graph over here, or map. And then I'm seeing everything towards the right is stuff that is leading over the last 30 days. And we see energy there. Silver, gold, and then XLI is creeping in as well. And then I have the same map over here, but for week and change percent since close. So again, XLE is all the way to the right. So it's up on the last 30 days and on the week. But over the year, which is up and down here on the left side, SLV is still way up on the year along with gold and semiconductors for now. You know, we'll see if we start seeing XLI and XLE starting to creep back above them. And for whoever was asking here, yeah, no one wants to listen to the earnings call. You can go watch it on YouTube. Literally just type it in on YouTube. It'll pop up. Let's see. For the scan, can you specify a trend as criteria? Depends what kind of trend. There's a lot of different indicators that you can use. If you have your own custom indicators, you definitely can. But this is my list of stocks, and we can go through here and see if there's any nice setups. Like again, Powell is on there. DVN is another big one. Both these breaking out to new highs. We'll look at the weekly. DVN, honestly, looking pretty nice right here. And depending on, you know, how you like to trade. For example, we have some really good Shonday tools. The Paraband. To help you get in and out of the trade, you can just use a basic simple EMA as well. But, you know, if you use like this Shonday indicator made by Tushar Shonday, this will be your stop loss all the way down here. And you see when this turns light green is when you would get in. So you can use this as your entry and exit filter. Interesting, it doesn't pull up on PSX yet. XOM has actually been in an uptrend all the way since back here. So XOM, if you guys look at the monthly chart, honestly, a beautiful, beautiful breakout. Let me hide this real quick. Let's take a look here. Broke out of this base that was forming all the way since 2022, you guys. Looks incredibly similar to the XLE chart. And, you know, Exxon is a very big company. Not a lot of room for growth, but, you know, it's relatively stable. And CVX was one that we were just talking about earlier. Still has not broken out. Is still trading in quite a long base right here, honestly. So, but could be decent. Again, not a whole lot of room for potential there. So if you guys wanted to see maybe only smaller cap stocks that, you know, aren't like CVX or Exxon that have billions of dollars in market cap, you can add a market cap filter. Fundamentals, market cap. Less than a constant value of maybe 10 billion. If you want to set that as your thing here. And here's all these stocks, but only less than 10 billion market cap. So maybe you can make potentially more money in these smaller names than, of course, you're just buying like CVX or Exxon or something like that, which, you know, is fine to trade, but there's just less room for growth. Nice breakout here in NE, Noble. There's a live fake video of MicroStrategy, says somebody. I don't know what. A live fake video of MicroStrategy. Okay, it's interesting. Yeah, that's great, Remdy Cow. Rock Reagan has some great indicators. Oh yeah, I was supposed to look up Rock's new indicator. I've been getting lost in the sauce over here. Let me look up Rock Reagan real quick. After hours change percent. Here is Rock Reagan's new indicator, you guys. Let me add this. It's how easy it is to import a custom indicator from the TrendSpider store. This indicator is completely free. It's a new one from Rock Reagan, after hours change percent. So now that it's imported, I should see it pop up in my custom indicator list. Right there. And so if you go to after hours right here, it'll show you, like for example, if we pull up Google, you can see after hours change currently up 2.24%. Very nice indicator, Rock Reagan. Love it. Yeah, guys, I'm just doing some live kind of research in front of you of the energy sector. These are some names. You got POWLNESD. Again, these are all profitable companies with strong momentum with a market cap of lower than $10 billion that I found using TrendSpider's market scanner, searching in the energy sector. LFUS, pretty nice name there. NC, nice pivot breakout here on NC. Decent room for upward movement, potentially. EGY. Let me go ahead and hide this for now. OII. Breaking out. Ooh. Yeah, this one has a lot of room to move up here on OII. RNGR. So this is where the strength kind of is in the markets right now, guys, is in these energy names. So keep an eye on them. And we can also do the same thing for XLI. Let's take a look at XLI. Might not be a lot of names under a 10 billion market cap, though. So let me put out this filter while we search this. LUV is interesting. Isn't that an airline company? Yeah. LUV. Wow. Killing it. Southwest Airlines killing it. JBHT hitting new highs. What else we got here? CAT. Yeah, CAT has been on an absolute tear, you guys. You could have just been sitting in CAT holding this one. You're doing pretty damn good. CMI. I think I'm actually in CMI myself. Very nice look there. PH. Again, you guys, all these software names coming down Amazon, Google. This is how you find where the money is flowing to now using TrendSpider's market scanner. If you guys have any other questions, let me know down in the chats below. But I suppose I could probably play the ARM earnings call for now. Or would you rather you guys see Google? We have been live for about an hour now. If you guys want to see it, I can play it for you guys. It seems like it's still live. Is it? Can't hear anything.
Use cases and
yeah, screw it. I'll stick on the Google earnings call now.
The progress was the most,
since I've been live for an hour.
Like commerce, I think we
it's in the Q&A session.
Ecosystem to develop the underlying protocol.
Oh, CRWV. Sure. I'll take a look at CRWV real quick. And CoreWeave, you guys, it's just not something I am really interested in myself. Please stop playing. Yeah, I mean, it's trading below a bunch of resistance. And there's not really much else to say here other than it's not looking good. I mean, if it's a long-term play, it's a long-term play. But as far as momentum goes, there's not much going in it right now. Yeah, it's hard. This one's tough. Not something I would be interested in myself.
I think it's going to have a wide level of application.
Let me put on this Tesla earnings or Google earnings call. I mean,
multimodality and representing the real world. And I think Genie is a further step in that direction in terms of building world models. All the innovation we are doing, be it our Imagine, VO, Lyria, Genie, all that work we bring into our products and to our cloud customers. And YouTube is going to be a natural place for creators. We are going to keep incorporating these tools. Already creators are responding by adopting these, but we do want to put creators at the center of the experience, and that's very, very important to us. So it's for us making sure YouTube is a voice for creator expression is the foundation by which we will approach this.
Great. Thanks, Sundar.
Your next question comes from Eric Sheridan with Goldman Sachs. Your line is now open.
Thanks so much for taking the question. Two, if I could. Over the last couple of earnings calls, we've talked a lot about imbalances between demand and capacity for AI, both internally and externally. With the step function change in absolute capital dollars you're projecting now in 26, can you talk about the pathway to closing the gaps for the need for compute, both internally and externally, and how to think about some of the outputs of closing that gap as the year progresses? And again, the second part would be against that level of spend that you're now projecting for 26. How do you think about continuing to find operating efficiencies inside the business to fund those growth investments as well? Thank you.
Thanks, Eric. You are right, and we've been supply constrained even as we've been ramping up our capacity. Obviously, our CapEx spend this year is an eye towards the future, and you have to keep in mind some of the time horizons are increasing in the supply chain, etc. So we are constantly planning for the long term and working towards that. And obviously, how we close the gap this year is a function of what we have done in the prior years, right? And so there is that time delay to keep in mind. I expect, the demand we are seeing across the board, across our services, what we need to invest for future work for Google DeepMind, as well as for cloud, I think is exceptionally strong. And so I do expect to go through the year in a supply-constrained way. And maybe Anat can touch on the second part.
Sure. Thanks, Eric, for the question. I've mentioned on one of the previous earnings call our approach to how we look at efficiency and productivity. And we don't view this as an episodic one-time project or effort, but rather how we run the business on a regular basis and always seek additional opportunities to drive efficiency across the business. And certainly with the demand we're seeing, whether it's from external customers or across the organization, the more capital we can free up within the organization to invest, the better we can turn this flywheel of making investments to drive future growth. And we're doing this across the organization, whether it's within our technical infrastructure. Certainly when we invest at these amounts, we look at how we can ensure that we are the most efficient with every dollar that goes towards our technical infrastructure. There are scientific innovation that are part of that process. Technical innovation, as you know, and we've mentioned before, we primarily focus on construction of our own data centers. We do partner with some external parties on lease on occasion, but most of our data center we construct ourselves, and we ensure that we do it in the most efficient way, in a way that matches our workloads and our needs. We look at coding productivity that Sundar mentioned in the past. About 50% of our codes are written by agents, coding agents, which are then reviewed by our own engineers. But certainly it helps our engineers do more, move faster with the current footprint. We look at how we run the business across the organization. So using AI within the business to drive daily operations. It can be all the way from the engineering team to small teams within our back office. Even within my finance team, for example, we deployed agents within our treasury organization. We're deploying agents within how we pay and reconcile invoice, et cetera. So there are opportunities across the business that we evaluate on a regular basis to ensure we can free up more of that capacity to invest in our future.
Your next question comes from Doug Anmuth with JP Morgan. Your line is now open.
Thanks for taking questions. I have two. Over the last couple of years, we've seen considerable large language model leapfrogging, and many expect that to continue. What are the ways that Google can build and maintain its Gemini position around data and distribution and product integration? And then how should we think about the potential for TPUs to move outside of Google Cloud and into external data centers and develop as an incremental revenue stream? Thank you.
Doug, look, I think the LLM frontier, it's been an exciting trajectory, and I think 2026 will continue to show that progress. We're obviously improving these models across many paradigms, right? On pre-training, post-training, test time compute, and so on. And we are bringing multimodal models into the picture. We are bringing agentic capabilities. The coding area is showing a lot of progress, and obviously integrating all of this together and offering a great customer experience through our products as well as through our APIs to our cloud customers. To me, it feels like there's a lot of headroom ahead. And as you've seen our trajectory over the past 2 years in terms of how we've been making progress, I think we are in a very, very a relentless innovation cadence, and I think we are confident about maintaining that momentum as we go through 26. In terms of TPUs, I would think about it as it's reflected in our overall part of what makes Google Cloud an attractive choice is the wide choice of accelerators we bring to bear here, and we meet customers in terms of what their needs are and the choice, as well as other things we bring as part of Google Cloud, the end-to-end efficiencies in our data centers. All of that comes to bear, and that's what you see in the strong momentum in Google Cloud. And given the overall investment we are making, we expect to be able to drive that momentum there. So that's how I would think about it.
Thank you, Sundar.
Your next question comes from Mark Mahaney with Evercore. Your line is now open.
Thanks. Two questions. One, could you just comment a little bit on the YouTube ad revenue, that 9% year-over-year growth? It sounded like direct response was good, and it sounded like from search that retail came in relatively strong. So it's a little surprising that didn't kind of come through in the YouTube ads revenue growth. And then Sundar, can I ask you to try to get ahead of a debate in the market, which is there's kind of maybe at a DeepSeek moment again. You talked earlier about Gemini being the AI engine for some of the most successful software SaaS companies out there in the world, and it just seems like there's a market belief that these software companies are kind of losing seat power, losing pricing power, and it looks like it'd be a really terrible customer base. I can't imagine that that's actually going to happen, but could you just talk about it? You're at the forefront of AI and the impact that that's having on software companies. Why wouldn't that be, or why would it be undermining the economics of your large software SaaS company base? Thanks.
So, Mark, first of all, thank you for the question. For the full year 2025, our YouTube's annual revenue surpassed $60 billion across ads and subscription. In Q4, YouTube ads was driven indeed by strong growth and direct response. On the brand side, as Anat shared, the largest factor negatively impacting the year-over-year growth rate was lapping the strong spend on U.S. elections. We also saw a slight impact in some other brand-related verticals. But taking a step back, I think it's important to think about YouTube ads and subs holistically, because when a user shifts from being an ad-supported user to YouTube Music and Premium customer, it has a slightly negative impact on YouTube ads revenues, but a positive impact on our business. And we had strong revenue growth in YouTube subscriptions this quarter, particularly in the YouTube Music and Premium category. Maybe the interesting part is what we're actually excited about, our roadmap in brand, the opportunity on connected TVs, more innovative ad formats. For example, the shoppable mastheads I spoke about earlier that we piloted during Cyber 5. We're working really, really hard to further connect brands and creators, scaling sponsorships, and enabling advertisers to showcase their products, their services during high visibility spotlight moments. We continue to expand the functionality of the Creator Partnership Hub, making it a lot easier for brands to actually find creators and develop campaigns. We're heavily focusing on brand deals, on measurement efforts. So there's a lot of interesting work in the pipeline. And on top of that, we actually see opportunity also for upside with performance advertising. There's a lot of momentum with demand gen adoption across small and medium advertisers. We're also excited about the opportunity for continued ads innovation and direct response, like, for example, shoppable formats, including in the living room, which is then helping drive strength in retail, the continued momentum in shorts, and so on. So overall, we're quite excited. Yeah.
Great. And Mark, on in terms of Gemini adoption and how what this moment means for SaaS, etc. Look, at least from my vantage point, I definitely see we have very, very good SaaS customers who are leaders in their respective categories. And what I see the successful companies doing is they are definitely incorporating Gemini deeply in critical workflows, be it on improving their product experience and driving growth, or using it to drive efficiency within their organizations. And I think it is an enabling tool, just like it has been an enabling tool for us across our products and services, be it search, YouTube, etc. I think the companies who are seizing the moment, I think, have the same opportunity ahead. And at least we are excited about the partnerships we have there, and the momentum. If I look at it in terms of their tokens usage, etc., the growth has been very robust in Q4.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from Mark Shmulik with AllianceBernstein. Your line is now open.
Yes, thanks for taking the questions. Two, if I may. The first for Anat is, can you talk a little bit more about the relationship between investment levels and how you kind of expect core performance to trend? Is there like an operating income or a free cash flow objective that you solve towards, or how do you think about greenlighting resources and projects? And then the second question for all of you, a year ago, we probably could have guessed the answer to this question. But given where we are today, for each of you, what keeps you up at night here as you think about the Google story and what's next? Thanks.
Thanks, Mark. Let me start with a question on the investment framework, and it's an important one, and as you can imagine, an important one for us as well. We have a highly rigorous framework that we use internally, where we look at all the needs for investment, whether it's from our own organization or from external customers, and have an estimate of what that investment could potentially yield, obviously not just near term, but long term as well. So we take that into consideration when we make the following decision. The first one is the total investment that we make across the company. This was, for example, in 2025, the $91 billion we invested in CapEx, and our estimate for CapEx investment this year. So what's the total envelope that we want to invest to ensure that we can drive both near-term and long-term growth for the company? And then the second way we use that framework is to just allocate these funds across the organization, determine where we should make these investments. And throughout the year, as you can imagine, we always look to understand where things are moving, whether it's the external dynamics or internal dynamics. And I've mentioned some of the supply chain pressures we're seeing externally. So we look at this with a highly rigorous framework to make sure that we're making the right decision. It was exciting to see the fact that we're already monetizing, and you saw it in the results that we've just issued this quarter, the investments that we've made in AI. It's already delivering results across the business. I know in cloud, it's very obvious external, but you've heard the comments on the success we're seeing in search, the comments from Sundar and from Philip, and then the frontier model development that really serves as the foundation for the organization. We then also look at just the cash flow generation, the health of our financials and the balance sheet. That's important as well. So we take that into consideration when we make the decision about the overall level of investment. We want to make sure we do it in a fiscally responsible way and that we invest appropriately, but we do it in a way that maintains a very healthy financial position for the organization.
And yeah, maybe I can answer on what keeps us up at night. Look, I think overall we've been on this AI first trajectory for over a decade now, and it's what we've been methodically thinking our way through. It's the reason why we've been working on TPUs for over a decade, as an example. But I think specifically at this moment, maybe the top question, is definitely around compute capacity, all the constraints, be it power, land, supply chain constraints. How do you ramp up to meet this extraordinary demand for this moment? Get our investments right for the long term, and do it all in a way that we are driving efficiencies and doing it in a world-class way. And so that's where I think we are meeting the moment well, and but it's definitely an area where I'm spending a lot of time on.
Your next question comes from Michael Nathanson with MoffettNathanson. Your line is now open.
Thanks. I have one for Sundar and one for Anat. Sundar, you mentioned Universal Commerce Protocol a bunch of times. I wondered if you could spend some time talking about the rationale for developing it, the opportunity that you see it solves for, and what it means for the product discovery funnel for consumers. And then for Anat, any color you can provide on a CapEx guide between longer duration assets like buildings and infrastructure and shorter cycle assets like technical equipment. That'd be helpful. Thanks.
Thanks, Michael. Obviously, people go through a lot of commercial journeys across many of our surfaces, search, YouTube, Gemini app, and so on. So I think there's, as well as we support through cloud and ads, our entire retail partners as well. And the opportunity to improve the experience, I think can be a kind of a huge foundational uplift here. But it's important to be approaching it keeping in mind that our users, as well as merchants here, and figuring out that value. Part of what's been good in designing the Universal Commerce Protocol is it makes it much easier for users to complete transactions, but at the same time, it allows merchants to help showcase the range of their offerings if they want to make promotions, etc. So all of that is built into the protocol. And I think you have to get that value prop for the ecosystem right to make the experience better. And so it's foundational. And more importantly, we are now implementing the protocols, and our Gemini models are making progress in those agentic capabilities. And I think so I'm excited about a future where, as people are going through discovery, searching, finding new things, if they're interested in acting upon it, all of that is seamless. And so it overall creates an expansionary moment.
And the question with regards to the CapEx and the kind of what makes up the total that we've announced for this year and last year, approximately 60% of our investment in 2025, and it's going to be fairly similar in 2026, went towards machines, so the servers. And then 40% is what you refer to as long duration assets, which is our data centers and networking equipment. And I think you're probably referring to the depreciation delta between them. Those long-term duration assets depreciate over, the building could be 40 years or longer. Other components may be less than that. Another important component is how we allocate this CapEx. And we've commented in the past about the allocation of our ML compute across the business. And for 2026, just over half of our ML compute is expected to go towards the cloud business.
Thank you so much.
Your next question comes from Ross Sandler with Barclays. Your line is now open.
Great. Just a question on the native Gemini 750 million. So we added 100 million MAUs in the fourth quarter. Could you just talk high level about usage and retention of native Gemini? And is this 750 the right way to measure your progress against companies like ChatGPT, or is there another cohort of users that aren't in that 750 that maybe we should also consider? Thanks a lot.
Across, I think we definitely saw, I would say, extraordinary period of growth in Q4 for Gemini app. It's not just the growth in monthly active users, but there's definitely, there was a sharp increase in engagement per user on the app. So all the metrics, be it active usage, the intensity of usage, retention, all showed distinct progress across iOS, web, Android, etc., and geographically globally. So it definitely all the product experience improvements, the work we did with Nano Banana, the progress with the Gemini models, all translated into strong momentum. And that momentum, is continuing. So we are excited about that, and we'll continue to invest. Obviously, there are many people who are getting a deeply AI native experience in the context of AI mode and search as well. And we are definitely seeing strong growth and progress. And the introduction of Gemini 3 in AI mode was a very positive driver as well. And obviously, we'll continue to evolve these experiences, and I'm excited about the opportunities there.
Thank you.
Your next question comes from Ken Goralski with Wells Fargo. Your line is now open.
Thank you very much. Two, if I may, both on search. First, could you walk us through how you are evolving your views on the monetization of AI search activity, given the more conversational nature and longer periods of engagement per session? Consumer utility is increasingly driven by the on-platform results, not specifically the link outs and referrals. In that construct, how do you think about increasing the revenue opportunity to match the consumer utility? Is this increasingly where premium subscriptions play? And then question two, and it's related. As you think about partnerships such as the new Apple partnership on Siri, how do you think about the right way to align for success with those partners? Previously, as disclosed in the DOJ documents, et cetera, it was a revenue share relationship. But now, if you think about the utility that you're driving through AI search and through Gemini on those platforms, it may be less related to the actual search, quote unquote, search revenue. Could you just talk a little bit about how you align with partners for success there? Thank you.
So first of all, it may be worthwhile to say that the acceleration we saw in search was not due to a single driver, but was really the result of many different parts of our business showing strength and working well together. And maybe I quickly add the vertical perspective: retail, finance, health drove actually the greatest contribution to search revenue, though nearly every major vertical actually accelerated in Q4. More specifically to your question, the ongoing innovation is, as you know, core to what we do, and the enhancements to the user and the advertiser experience really continue to drive our performance. And we make hundreds of these changes every quarter. We see AI overviews and AI mode continue to drive greater search usage and growth in overall queries, including important and commercial queries. Gemini-based improvements in search ads help us better match queries and craft creatives for advertisers. I talked about the understanding of intent and how this has significantly expanded our ability to deliver ads on longer and more complex searches that were frankly previously difficult to monetize. AI Max, for example, is already used by hundreds of thousands of advertisers and continues to unlock billions of net new queries in that sense. We see strength with SMB advertisers expanding their budgets and adopting automation tools, leading to better ROI. On the creative side, we're using Gemini to generate millions of creative assets via text customization in AI Max and PMax, and so on. So we're very pleased with what we're seeing here.
And our last question comes from Justin Post with Bank of America. Your line is now open.
Great. Just wanted to follow up on the Gemini app. Obviously, great growth there. Are you seeing any cannibalization of search as far as activity as people start using that app more? And then second, on monetization, where are you on that? And with agentic and other ads coming, could that be incremental to your growth over the next few years? Thank you.
Look, right now, overall, I think we are giving people choice. People are obviously using search, experiencing AI overviews and AI mode as part of it, and Gemini app as well. And the combination of all of that, I think, creates an expansionary moment. I think it's expanding the type of queries people do with Google overall. And so overall, some of it all is what we see as a growth opportunity. And, we haven't seen any evidence of cannibalization there. And maybe Philip can comment on the monetization.
Yeah, I think Sundar previously commented on agentic and how we think about it. And look, in general, as with all of our products, we really focus first and foremost on creating a great user experience. And we're very excited about where we are with the ads and AI overviews and early experiments in AI mode, including innovations like direct offers and our roadmap for the future. In terms of the Gemini app today, we are focused on a free tier and subscriptions and seeing great growth, as Sundar discussed. But ads have always been part of scaling products to reach billions of people. And if done well, ads can be really valuable and helpful commercial information. And at the right moment, we'll share any plans. But as we've said, we're not rushing anything here.
Thank you. And that concludes our question and answer session for today. I'd like to turn the conference back over to Jim Friedland for any further remarks.
Thanks, everyone, for joining us today. We look forward to speaking with you again on our first quarter 2026 call. Thank you.
Well, everybody, there's the Google call. Pretty flat in the after hours, down a little bit. But we're going to call it there. Thank you guys for tuning in. Make sure to use the link down below if you want to get trade ideas sent right to your inbox every single Sunday for free. It's our free trading newsletter. Again, it's first link down below in the description and in the chat. But other than that, I will catch you guys tomorrow. Make sure to tune back in tomorrow and subscribe and like this video if you like these earnings live streams. We'll be back tomorrow for, what is tomorrow again? MicroStrategy, right? Yep, Amazon, MicroStrategy, and Reddit, Roblox, IREN, Fortinet, Affirm, BE, tons and tons of stuff is going on tomorrow, you guys. So make sure to tune back in. All right, see you guys.